Great! Here's the opening of Whispers of the Ancients, Episode 8, Urartu, Kingdom of Stone and Sky Sea, 860 to 590 BCE, Armenian Highlands. Point 1. The citadel in the clouds. High above the fertile plains of Mesopotamia, where the rivers turn to rivers of stone, and the sky presses close to the mountains, there once stood a kingdom carved into cliffs. Urartu, the forgotten realm of gods and granite, a land of basalt fortresses and sacred peaks, of kings who built not for the day but for eternity. Before Rome rose, before the Persians ruled, before even the Medes marched, there was Urartu, hidden in the Armenian Highlands, surrounded by rugged silence and celestial snow. Urartu was a world apart, a defiant outpost against the empires below. And yet, their story is barely told. A kingdom swallowed by time, whose stones still whisper in the winds of Mount Ararat. Come closer now. Let us walk the ridges of this highland empire and breathe life into the dust of its kings. Before we begin the climb, remember to like, subscribe, and comment if you wish for more lost civilizations to be unearthed. Which kingdom do you long to rediscover? Let us know your curiosity shapes the journey. 2. The Rise Among Mountains. Urartu was not born in river valleys. It was hewn from mountain rock and willpower. The Assyrians called it Urartu, ordinary a land of many tribes, fierce and independent. But by the 9th century BCE, these scattered peoples began to unite under a single crown, forged in resistance to Assyrian might. The first great king, Aramu, rose like a shadow, but it was Sardurii who made Urartu a name to fear. He moved the capital to Tushpa, the citadel above Lake Van, where basalt walls kissed the sky and inscriptions etched their claims into the very bones of the earth. Urartu was born not in peace, but in defiance 3. Tushpa, jewel of the Highland kings, above the shores of Lake Van, where the waters glisten like polished obsidian, rose the stone heart of the Urartian realm, Tushpa. It was no city of pleasure or gardens. It was a fortress, a statement, and a defiant crown carved from basalt. Its walls were thick, its temples tall. Royal inscriptions were chiseled in cuneiform, not in clay but into rock, as if the kings of Urartu wished to speak directly to time itself. From this throne of stone, kings ruled with absolute might, building a state that rivaled Assyria in both ambition and reach. Palaces, temples, granaries all rose under the chisel. Theirs was a cult of permanence, and Tushpa was its altar. To stand in its ruins today is to feel the echo of an empire that reached toward the heavens. With bare hands, forgot the language of power. Urartu spoke in stone, but also in a language now long silent. Their script cuneiform was borrowed from the Assyrians, but the language itself was not Semitic nor Indo-European. It was Hurro-Urartian, a cousin of the mysterious Hurrian tongue. Few today can speak of its grammar, and fewer still can hear its music, but their words remain etched in iron and rock, proclamations of kings, dedications to gods, inventories of conquest. These inscriptions are not just records, they are prayers to posterity. Whispers for us. 5. The divine hierarchy. The Urartians did not worship one god, but many, yet all bowed before a single sovereign of the sky, Kaldi. He was not a gentle deity. He stood upon a lion, sword drawn, a warrior king among the heavens. His great temple at Musasir was adorned with gold and sacrifice. His name was invoked before battle in oaths in every royal inscription. Beside him were Taishiba, the storm god, and Shivini, the sun. Together they formed a divine trinity of might, weather, and light. Worship was not just piety, it was politics. To serve the gods was to rule by divine sanction, and Urartu's kings were as much priests as warriors. 6. Water and war, the engineering empire. High in the mountains, water was life, and the Urartians were masters of its capture. They built aqueducts, canals, cisterns, some of which still function today. Fields bloomed where only rock had stood. Grain filled royal granaries. Cities expanded across the hills. Yet these were not idle builders, they were warriors. Urartian armies swept across eastern Anatolia, clashing with Assyria, Phrygia, and the tribes of the Caucasus. Their chariots thundered across mountain passes, their spears found targets beneath snow-swept skies. Their kings left inscriptions not only to build, but to boast of victories and to warn those who would defy them. 7. The road to Musasir. Far beyond Lake Van, past valleys carved by ice and ash, lay a city whispered in reverence and fear, Musasir. It was not merely a provincial town, it was a holy sanctuary dedicated to the god Kaldi. Here, the divine and the royal fused. A temple rose in splendor, its roof plated in gold, its priests anointed by kings. Musasir was sacred, a link between heaven and earth, a treasury of faith and fortune. So coveted was this city that when the Assyrians finally took it, they paraded its stolen treasures in elaborate reliefs as both conquest and curse. Even as Assyria claimed victory, it felt like sacrilege paid. War without end, the mountains protected Urartu, but they also isolated it. To grow, the kingdom had to fight. From the 9th to the 7th century BCE, Urartu clashed repeatedly with the new Assyrian Empire, a titan of steel and siege engines. It was a brutal symmetry to powers locked in eternal war. They burned each other's cities, toppled idols, massacred garrisons. Yet Urartu endured. For nearly 2 centuries, it held the line, repelled invasions, even sacked Assyrian outposts. Its kings, like Menua, Argishti and Rusai, expanded the frontiers with daring raids and defensive strongholds. Every stone wall was both a shield and a defiance. But wars have costs, and time like water wears away even stone. 9. Cities among the cliffs. The Urartians did not build cities in plains, they perched them upon cliffs. Their architecture was bold, purposeful and defensive. Tushpa, Erebuni, Argishta Hinali, each was a fortress first, a settlement second. Erebuni, built by Argishti in 780 to BCE, was a marvel of planning, gates, walls, temples, and palaces decorated with vibrant murals. From this bastion, Urartu controlled the Ararat plain, commanding both trade and tribute. The cities stood like watchful sentinels, blending into the hills, breathing with the mountain winds. And though many now lie in ruins, their foundations still anchor Urartu's ghost to the earth. Point 10. Kings who spoke in stone. Each king of Urartu left behind a trail not of paper, but of rock and glory. They inscribed victories, conquests, divine offerings. Their words were etched on stele. Temple walls, aqueducts, Menua the builder, Argishti the conqueror, Rusai the defender. Each shaped Urartu's legacy, not with stories passed by tongue, but with statements carved in the unyielding body of the earth. They believed in the immortality of stone. Even today, scholars find their voices, whispering from canyon walls and cliff faces. They were not only kings, they were architects of memory. If you're enjoying this journey into Urartu, please like, subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. What other ancient kingdoms would you like us to unveil next? Your voice helps bring history to light. 11. The mystery of the people. Who were the Urartians? Their kings are known, their gods are named. But the people, the farmers, potters, soldiers, children, remained shadows behind the script. They spoke a language barely understood. They left behind no great literature, no epic like Gilgamesh, no laws like Hammurabi, and yet their cities, their canals, their fortresses, they speak volumes. Archaeology hints at a rich daily life, ceramic kilns, bronze workshops, wine cellars deep in the mountains, tombs lined with goods for the afterlife. They were not a people of silence, only of forgotten echoes. 12. The fall from the heights. No kingdom lasts forever, especially one built so close to the sky. By the late 7th century BCE, Urartu faced new threats, internal unrest, natural disasters, and foreign invasions. The Scythians, Cimmerians, and finally the Medes swept through the highlands. By 590 BCE, Tushpa fell silent. Its temples were looted. Its kings disappeared from history. Urartu vanished, not with a final battle, but with a slow extinguishing of mountain fires. Its memory would linger in Assyrian laments, Persian annexations, and later Armenian legends. 13. Legacy in stone and soul. Though the Urartians fell, their influence endured. The Armenian people, emerging centuries later, would claim descent from Urartu's kings. They built atop Urartian cities, absorbed their gods, echoed their language in early script, Urartu's architecture, its fortresses, canals, and altars set foundations for centuries to come. Even the name Ararat is believed to echo Urartu, the kingdom's soul reborn in the mountains. Their ghosts dwell in the ridges and ruins still. 14. The stones still speak. Walk the hills of Van, Ararat, or Erebuni today, and you may stumble upon a slab of basalt with lines carved deep. You won't read them at first. They are not for you. Not yet. But lean closer. Listen not with ears, but with wonder. The stones still speak, and they say, "We were kings before the empires. We were gods before the temples. We were Urartu, and the mountains remember us." 15. Closing whisper, Kingdom in the Sky. Urartu was never meant for the ages, only for the eternal. A kingdom of altitude and ambition, faith and stone, violence and vision. Its rulers sought no golden beaches, only immortality in the heights. And though the world below forgot them, the clouds remember. They drift over ruined fortresses, wrap around ancient citadels, and carry whispers of kings and gods, of battles and beliefs of Urartu. A name written on mountains, not in books. Thank you for watching Whispers of the Ancients. If this journey moved you, please like, subscribe, and comment below. What civilization shall we uncover next? Your curiosity shapes our future explorations. Until then, listen closely. The past still speaks.